What is a grammar matrix? Well, we all know what grammar is, generally. Grammar is the wardrobe of language. Grammar is where we put all the components, the individual components that make up language. Nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, conjunctions, prepositions, indirect objects, direct objects, all those find a certain place. Grammar. So imagine buying 10 shirts one day, buying 10 pairs of trousers the next day, buying 10 pairs of socks the following day, buying 10 pairs of unmentionables the next day, and when you come home you just throw all these things on the floor. Now what are you going to have by the end of the week? A pile of junk. You're going to have chaos in your house because you have these words just strewn all over the place. I had a friend that actually lived like that. We won't mention him by name, if you're watching. Okay. Well, the point is, his house was chaos. We'd go visit him and I'd be insane after about 3 hours. Well, sometimes that's how we learn language. We're learning lists of nouns, lists of verbs, we're learning all these words, and we're just strewing them all over the place. We need grammar. Just like clothes need a closet, words, nouns, all these things need a proper place. We call that grammar. Now, when we're studying a language, we really need to focus on grammar. It is the hardest part of learning a language. Why? Because their grammar is so messed up. No matter what language we learn, we're going to look at it and go, that's backwards. That's inside out. That's upside down. That's completely different from my language. And generally that's true. That's why grammar is just so hard to grasp. So how can we tackle this beast, this monster called grammar? A simple grammar matrix can be really helpful. All it is a piece of paper, a sentence, with every word fit into a column, and hopefully our graphics coming out really nice and you can grasp what I'm talking about. So in these columns that are containing each component of the sentence, of course there are rows underneath, as you can see in the graphic. Now the idea is to take a grammatical sentence structure. For example, she says her teacher is a genius. That's the core model sentence at the top of the grammar matrix. Now below that, we simply start substituting words. She thinks her father is a genius. She thinks her mother is a genius. He thinks his mother is a genius. He thinks his dog is a genius. The dog thinks he is a genius. Now the point of the grammar matrix is to burn the grammar structure into our brain by giving us multiple uses of the same grammar structure, perhaps throughout a week. So we fill in all of these columns and all of these rows with words that are relevant to us. Not something from a textbook that has no meaning for us. Not something written by some academic who has no idea what my life is like. But we fill in this grammar matrix with nouns and verbs that relate to our life. The grammar matrix for a doctor would be very different than the grammar matrix for a fireman, or for a mechanic, or for a teacher. The point is, a grammar matrix really does two things. Burns the grammar in our mind, and it helps us to use verbs and nouns that are relevant to our own world. Through the constant repetition through the week of all these sentences that are in the grammar matrix, we start to use the language. We can carry that with us. Create conversations based around the sentences in our grammar matrix, and we just start repeating the same grammar over and over and over again. It's a simple device, requires a piece of paper and a few minutes of time. So try this. Use a grammar matrix. See if it helps you as it's helped me and others to grasp the grammar of our target language.